Hi, everyone. Welcome to Humanities 201, American Literature. I'm your instructor, Tiffany Lester Trocher. Most students just call me Mrs. LT. In fact, many of you have probably had me already for English 200. So hello. But for those of you who have not had me before, I wanted to provide a video that shows you how to manage Brightspace for our class. Even those of you who have had me for English 200 though, I would suggest at least watching the first part of this video just to see what is different about this particular course. Once I start going through the week 1 module, you can probably dip because it's set up exactly the same way as English 200, same concept, same organization pattern. So you don't have to necessarily watch the whole thing. But at least watch the first part, okay? So what I'm going to do is share the screen, and we're going to look at our Brightspace page, right? So when you first go to Brightspace and you click on our class, it's going to bring you to our course homepage. You're going to have updates here, calendar, and over here on this side, you're going to see the weekly announcement. So right now you've got the welcome announcement for week 1. Every week, there will be a new announcement here, okay? It will start with a video where I basically go through verbally everything that is in writing underneath the video. So a little opening blurb here that you can read through explaining how to get started. And then there's an outline for everything that you'll go through in week 1. So the attendance quiz, the syllabus review, intro to drama, and the week 1 homework. So every week, the first time you come to the course each week, look over here at this announcement on the course homepage. Watch the video real quick. They're usually only a couple minutes long. And then you can take a look at the outline and you'll see what's in store for you once you click on the course content. Course content is the heart of the course. It's where all the action happens. All right, so you'll see all of these tabs over here on the left-hand side. Getting started, week 1 module, week 2 module, all the way down to week 10 module. Now, I'm not going to go through every single one of these. A, that would take up far too much time. And B, we don't really need to go through every one of them. I'm going to spend some time here in the Getting Started tab, good bit of time in the week 1 module, and a little bit of time in the week 2 module. And after that, the rest of these, you're going to pretty much know how to get through because they're set up the exact same way. So we're going to focus our attention up here towards the top to give you a good footing in the class. And then everything else, the rest of the term, will be fairly easy and you'll get the hang of it pretty quickly. All right, so the Getting Started section, that's where we are right now. So the first little sub-tab was Meet Your Instructor, a little bit of information about me, if you care to look or read it. Some useful information here, though, is my email address and my cell phone number. That is my personal cell. So if you ever need to get in touch with me and you're afraid that I might not be checking my email or checking Compass messages, you can text me on my personal cell. All right. Then there's course overview, just a little blurb, what this course is all about. Attendance and weekly deadlines. You may have already looked through that since it came first under the Getting Started section. If this is not your first online course, you may have skipped it. However, you're going to want to go back and watch it, or at least read the information. Not only might have things have changed since the last time you took an online course or the last time you took one of my online courses, but you're going to need some of the specific information in here for the week 1 attendance quiz. Okay, the attendance quizzes might be a little different than what you've been used to. So again, this information is pretty useful. So if you skipped it, go back and at least read it. But there is also a video that you can watch. Here's where we're at right now, how to find your way around. The next one is the syllabus for the class. Here under the Getting Started section, it's in a PDF format. You can print it or download it if you want. You don't have to, it's going to be here the whole term. You can always come back here for it. And there's a Word document version of it in the week 1 module. All right. The next item under in the getting started section is the textbook instructions, because this is an online textbook, so you'll want to come here for the link. And then the last item is instructions for using Google Docs. I'm not so sure that you're going to really need formal documents for this class, so this might not be necessary, but for whatever reason, if you ever need to submit a formal document and you don't have access to Microsoft Word, I provide you with instructions on how to use Google Docs for free, right? So that's everything here under getting started. Again, the two most important are the attendance and weekly deadlines and where you're at right now. Not only because they contain some important information, but because they contain information that you're going to need in order to take the week 1 attendance quiz. The questions on the week 1 attendance quiz come straight from these two sections, okay? But I want to really look here at the weekly modules, because that's where you're going to be spending all your time throughout the term, week 1 down to week 10. So before I get started though, in order to sort of understand how I set up each week, you have to remember how many total hours a week this class is supposed to entail. It's a 30 credit hour class with 15 outside hours of work. So taking that week by week, that ends up being, let's see, about 3 hours a week of in-class work and another hour and a half or so of out-of-class work. So if we came to campus for this class, every week you would come to class and we would be in class for 3 hours, going through lessons, learning things, discussing things, maybe doing group work, maybe working on some small assignments during class time. And then you would leave, go home, you'd have some homework to do that you need to complete before you come back the following week, right? So it's 3 hours in the classroom, another hour and a half or so of homework outside of the class. We're online, so you got to do it all at home, but it's still the same amount of hours. So even though you get to do it from home at your convenience, whenever it works best for you, you need to anticipate spending the same amount of time working on this class as you would have going to class and doing homework. It is still a total of 4.5 to 5 hours every week. All right. So how do I organize that in an online format, right? It's pretty easy. You show up to class on campus and the instructor has whatever you need to work on. They give it to you, they explain it, you do it. They give you homework and explain it. How does all that translate to an online format? Well, there are some, online classes, they have some things in common, but there's also a lot of variation. And so that's why I want to show you how I structure all of that work for you each week. So we're going to go through the week 1 module and you're going to see how it's laid out. And then we'll look quickly at week 2 as well, so that you can see how it's pretty much the same week after week. Okay. So first things first, when you click on week 1 module, you're only going to see the week 1 attendance quiz at first. I'm showing you my Brightspace version, which is the instructor version. So right now we can see everything under week 1 module. But when you click on week 1 module, the only thing you'll see at first is the week 1 attendance quiz. Once you take the attendance quiz, then you will also see all of these other items. So let's focus our attention here just on the week 1 module tab, not even looking at anything underneath it. When you click on the week 1 module, over here on the middle part of your screen, you're going to see the instructions for week 1, a little blurb there, and then look, here's that outline again, the same one that was on the weekly announcement. So every time you come to the course for the first time that week, you can see the outline there in the weekly announcement, but every time you come back to the course that week, you don't have to worry about that announcement anymore. You can come straight into the content, go to the weekly module, and the outline is there for you still, right? You don't have to keep going back to the announcement to see an outline of what is planned for that week. So, and again, it's exactly the same. attendance quiz, syllabus review, intro to drama, homework. Now, what's interesting is that if you look at the order of these items on the outline, it matches up exactly with the order of these items under week 1 module. So the first item on the outline is the week 1 attendance quiz. The first item in week 1 module is the week 1 attendance quiz. The second item on the outline is the syllabus review. The second item under week 1 module is the syllabus review, right? Intro to drama, intro to drama. Week 1 homework, week 1 homework. It matches up exactly. So this outline here on the module tab is a very nice streamlined visual of what you need to go through for the week. And it is ordered in the most logical manner, meaning you should go through the items as they are listed in that order. Just like if you went to class on campus, the instructor has a set order for how they're going to present the lessons to you, right? You don't get to choose the order. Think of this the same way. I have set this up for you to go through things in a certain order because that's what makes the most sense for the material we're covering that week, right? Same for the assignments. Go through the assignments the order that they're listed in. Now, except for the discussion. The discussion is not related to anything that is being taught that week. So you can do it at any point during the week. It could be the first thing you do every week, that's fine. But all the other assignments, the lessons, go through those in the right order. The assignments, go through those in the right order. It just is the best way to be successful and to not get confused, to not, and to just make sure that you're building on knowledge every time so that you're not lost when you're doing assignments. All right, so you see how everything matches up, right? And over here, you know, where it says syllabus review, read over course syllabus, there's a PDF located in the getting started section. We already looked at that. And then there's a Word document in the syllabus review section. So click on syllabus review, you've got the video there where I go through the syllabus and a link to it as a Word document. The next item was intro to drama. There's a PowerPoint and a video. So come over here, intro to drama, look, PowerPoint, video, right? And then the homework assignments. So the best way to sort of think about this is everything here, from the attendance quiz down to the homework. Over here, from the attendance quiz down to the homework. That is what we would do together in the classroom. If we were going to campus, the first thing we would do in class together is go over the syllabus. The next thing we would do is go through this lesson on drama, right? Now, some of these little homework items, maybe we would have actually done those in class together too, like the syllabus acknowledgement and journal 1. But I'm not going to put those graded items up here under these tabs because that's confusing. Here in an online format, I put all graded items under that weekly homework assignments tab, right? So even though we probably would have done these together in the classroom, here online, everything is listed and grouped together under the week 1 homework assignments. That way it's less confusing, right? But again, 3 hours of this, reading over the syllabus, intro to drama. We would have spent in class time, 3 hours in week 1, going over all of this together and maybe doing these 2 things together. And then I would have sent you home with these assignments down here. Hour and a half. So again, about 4.5 to 5 hours total every week. Everything that's here on the outline or here under the module, that is your in-class work, roughly 3 hours worth. And then another hour and a half or so of homework assignments. Now, might not match up exactly. So it's kind of hard to make sure that the lessons for the week are exactly 3 hours. that the homework assignments for that week are exactly an hour and a half. So it's really just about 4.5 hours total to go through all of this, what we would have done in the classroom together and the homework items for that week. That should be about 4.5 hours every week. So, you know, by the time the course ends after 10 weeks, you will have spent a total of 45 hours on this class. Again, over 10 weeks, that averages to about 4.5 hours. But it might not be that way exactly every week. Some weeks might be a little lighter. Maybe it's only 3 to 3.5 hours of, or 4 hours of work. And then some weeks are going to be a little heavier. So maybe it's more like 5 to 5.5 hours. The idea, though, is the average across 10 weeks should be 45 hours total, and we're aiming for about 4.5 hours every week. But you need to anticipate spending that much time on the class. You can't have a class on campus and skip class and expect to do well on the homework. If you do skip class, you got to get notes from someone or contact the instructor so that you can learn what you were supposed to learn that week before you try to do the assignments. Same thing for an online class. Don't think that you can skip this part and just jump into the homework. It won't work out well for you. You have to learn what you're supposed to learn and then do the assignments, right? And you need to anticipate that all of that is going to be about 4.5 hours every single week. If you can keep that in your head, this is what I would be doing in the classroom. This is the homework I would have. It's all supposed to total 4.5 hours. It can help you from feeling like this class is way too much. Because students feel like that sometimes because they come into an online class and they think it's going to be easier. They think it's going to be less time, but it's not. It is the exact same amount of time that you would have spent working on this class if it were on campus. So if you can just kind of visualize it that way, this is what we would do in class together. This is what we would do for homework. It's all supposed to total 4.5 hours every week. Then you start to understand why it seems like so much work. It seems like so much work because you have to do it all on your own at home. You don't get that 3 hours to just go to class. You have to do those 3 hours at home. You get to decide when. That's the nice part. But you still have to anticipate 4.5 hours every week spent on this class, going through the lessons and completing the homework assignments. Okay. Now, again, looking at that outline, you can see how the lessons follow along, how the homework assignments are always listed last, right? Everything matches up. And if we go to week 2, same thing, right? Here's the outline for week 2, attendance quiz. Over here, attendance quiz. Review of week 1, review of week 1. A video lesson that follows up on the play that you're going to read for homework in week 1, Trifles. Here it is over here, follow up to Trifles. Then we're going to look over chapter 17, chapter 17, chapter 18, chapter 18, week 2 homework, week 2 homework, right? Everything matches up. This outline gives you a really nice point to come back to throughout the week, because you're probably not going to sit down and do all of this all at once. I mean, maybe you will. That's totally your choice. But you might not have a schedule that allows that, where you can spend 4.5 hours all at once going through the lessons and completing all the assignments. You might have to go through things a little here and a little there. This little outline helps you sort of keep track of what you've already gone through and what you still need to go through. And you know that it's all going to match up in the same order over here. You're not going to have to look here and say, oh, okay, I did the follow-up lesson on Trifles. Now I need to go through chapter 17. It's not like you're going to come over here and be like, oh no, where's chapter 17? No, it's right where it should be. Right? Everything follows in the same order. Right? So I think once you get through the first week or two, it's going to be easy sailing after that because it should be smooth sailing. Not easy sailing, smooth sailing. It'll be smooth sailing after the first week or two. Because again, it's all set up exactly the same. You can see week 3, the outline, everything matches up. Same format every week, no real big surprises. All right. So I think, going through it like that, showing you how it all matches up, the order that you need to go in, that should be super helpful. I'm not going to go through how to actually submit assignments, how to post to discussions. By now, you should have had online classes where you have already learned how to do that. So I don't want to take up more time in this video. Having said that, though, if you ever run into problems or have questions about those technical issues, reach out to me because I will do whatever I can to help you figure out how to submit an assignment, how to post a discussion. If something wacky is going on, I will help you try to figure it out. And if we can't figure it out together, I'll tell you who to get in touch with. Like, just reach out, all right? But I think that's really all I need to go through in this video, is just showing you how I've organized the course, how each module is organized, how to go through it, making sure that you go through in order, and how to think of the whole thing like you would if you were on campus. All right, 4.5 hours of work average every week for this class. Okay. All right. I think that's enough for now. But again, any questions, reach out. Otherwise, feel free to move on.